follows at 5:30 p.m. We have Reactor versus SAF set 1, Blight on Suffocation Pit 1, set 2, Artist on Wretched Shop, and a tiebreaker of Doctor on Cold Tower 2. Following that series at 7 p.m., we got Nyx versus Kratos set 1, which will be Unknown on Wrecker's Yard set 2, Shape on Fractured Cowshed, and a tiebreaker of Plague on Suffocation Pit 1. Later in the night at 8:30, it's not other than Evolution versus Caustic set 1, Mastermind on Cold Tower 1, set 2, Hillbilly on Blood Lodge, and a tiebreaker of Oni on Cold Tower 1. And lastly, at 10 p.m., a pretty interesting series. It's Bleed Out versus 2 Savage set 1, Singularity on Groaning Storehouse 2, set 2, Oni on Cold Tower 1, and a tiebreaker of Mastermind on Cold Tower 1. I'm joined here today by Smonk. How are we doing? Big balancing boss.
Hello, Hunter. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking as we are joined once again for another day of some great games. This is SAF versus Reactor, as we said, starting out with, interestingly enough, Reactor's pick of the Blight. Normally, most teams you'll be seeing them ban Blight against SAF due to the presence of Addict on SAF, but Reactor maybe wanting the challenge or just very confident in their Blight player's ability, picking Blight into SAF, which is huge to see. Looking at his build, pretty stock standard stuff. Pain Resurrection, Ruin, corrupt with the double speed build. We find, I think this is right off the bat here. Get a cheeky tag, go for a power break, but we should be able to zone him away from this god power. We choose to fatigue instead, getting our token back, and there should just be a little M1 tag unless we have the window available to us, which we do, but with the ping available to us, as this is a Southeast Asian team on the side of Reactor, we are going to be getting tagged through that window, so a very decently fast chase at the start of the game. Being able to hook towards this, like, one corner right on top of that Ruin, this is a fantastic start for Prada here.
Yeah, Ruin's not going to be broken anytime soon, and we're going to be able to press the survivors off the generators all simultaneously. You might notice that we're a little bit late as well. We did have some issues in regards to, hang on, we found out the deli survivor. Oh no, mighty problems here. We're getting tagged. Spacey's going to have to go for the pull here. He gets the trade-off. He's going to be going down. No, wait, we take the tag onto the unhooked person to deny the deli. We're going to be following up the chase, but we're going to be making the window, and now Prada struggling to get this down. We've made to a safe location on the side of Sizz all the way around the main building, and I dare say that that's deli secured. But yes, going back to my initial point, there were some problems loading into this. Our killer Prada was on NEA services. It is his native service, being from Thailand, which is very weird, but on better ping now that he's on SEA, is going to be following up this chase around the main building once more, and Sizz doing a little bit of a crouch tech to run back into him, but going down ultimately. So he did very well to work around that main building with whatever he was given, and we got Deli in the game now. It was looking pretty dicey there, Smog. Spacey already healed as well. I don't want to think about what would have happened if we were able to get that 2-tap onto Sizz and even follow up the chase with that Deli player, Spacey over there.
You're very close. Luckily, we didn't manage to get the 2 downs there at the top side of them, and that would have been problems team. But our Deli player here, very interesting M1 there. I think we intended to swing around over the top, but didn't quite make it. Just going to be breaking down this middle tower here, but probably just trying to hold the choke, looking for anyone crossing for the save here. Interestingly enough, as we were thinking of the survivors, we did see Spacey is Deli, DS Dead Hard will make it. So we have our anti-tunnel on our Deli, which I don't think you usually see on a Blight set, unless I'm completely wrong. I'm not a big tier 1 gamer myself, and usually I consult other people when it comes to these killers, but we're going to be committing to the proxy around this here, make sure our Ruin's not getting popped in. This is a great start for Prada here. We have 4 gens on this side of the... Technically 4 gens on this side of the map, as we do have one sort of like very close to the choke there that we saw in the distance, and we're going to be able to successfully keep Sizz guarded, and just going to be finding a death onto Sizz here while Cash is looking around trying to go for a last minute save, but a bit of a body block not quite working out play. We get it very last second, fantastic play from Cash there. Looks like Prada is melting through space and time, but we do get the follow-up down onto Cash, and then with a couple of rushes we might be able to cut off Sizz here, but 15 seconds of BT with the tag there onto our BT, that's going to allow Sizz to go all the way down towards Shaq, and we need a banger chase here. Cash slugged on the other side of the map, that shouldn't be a problem. We should be rotating up with our other survivors to try and find them, but we get hit through that. That is criminal. That should have not been a hit at all, Hunter.
Yeah, that's that ping coming in, unfortunately, that 120-110 mark onto the side of our survivors. We are going to be taking the pick onto Sizz there, going for that hook over in 5. No anti-tunnel of anything of the sort, no dead hard, no DS, so he's just going to be out of the trial. At 3 generators remaining, and it's just definitely still pull... you can definitely still pull this back on the side of Gospel. I mean, it's going to take some determination, resilience, and whatnot, because, my god, you have 3 gens to pop, and on a Blight set, that can prove to be pretty difficult. All while, look at where these gens are placed. They are in a massive cluster on the top side of the map. We do have access to main, 10, 3 and this generator over at 2, as we do take chase in the middle of all of it on this Captain Spacey, who is going to be greeting this filler pallet very nicely, but unfortunately he's going to be going down. No, he's done a little bit of a crouch tech and has been able to evade the M2, pre-dropping the pallet, making another loop around this filler pallet, losing the 50, losing it again. Unfortunately, well, he did win the 50 before. I think if Prada just committed to that a little bit earlier, he would have won it. So he did win that 50 at the beginning, but he did lose the second. Only $100 there, mate. He's going to be slapped over at the hook over at this main building here. He is the deli player, so we're eating this very early into the trial. You know, when you take into account that there is 4 generators on the top side, so very early days when you're holding the game like this, you know, we're in for a pretty long game if... so I was about to say Gospel, but SAF are able to kind of reground and find their footing once more, as we do take the chase back onto Cash's lead, the kill all the way into 10. We're not falling for it on the side of Prada. He is going all the way back down to 3 to scare whoever's working this generator off it entirely. He's going to be eating a tag. Is Addict, and Addict is running into a wall. He's dead. No, friend Addict. That is not what you need in a scenario like this. Prada's going to be going all the way down to where this unhooked happened. That is Addict out of the trial, and unfortunately, due to our ruling, it's not going to matter. It's going to be all hook stages awarded to Prada. Now it leaves only Cash and Spacey left in the trial. Spacey back off the hook via the deliverance. Cash taking chase all the way down to 10. Has to pre-drop this pallet and win 250s very nicely. He's going to be dropping the firecracker. Doesn't really mean much as we take the break. We're going all the way down to 9. And we're not opting to chase Cash here. We're going all the way to 3. We really want to secure this 4K2. Prada is going to be using some nice bump logic there, but ultimately missing Spacey. He's ran all the way into corner 4. Does have a resource to be used. He's going to be pre-dropping this instantly and running around the tile. Some mind games coming in from Prada. Is he going to be able to get the tag down? No, we're playing very greedy on the pallet. Yes, Spacey is playing incredible right now.
He's going for a bit of a greed there, paying off in dividends, but with BL1 and Ping, we're going to get tagged through this pad here. He did have Dead Hard in his back pocket as well as Decisive Strike, but unfortunately, that's going to result in Cash having to rotate away from this. Jenny was doing very early and go for a pick up in space if they want to get any more manageable win on now. Despite Addict DCing, he is going to be the killer player for SAF, playing his Blight. He's one of the best Blights in OC's region, and we're probably about to see why, provided he just lag out halfway through his own game, but we're going to be going for the pickup with Spacey, but Prada is checking the jam, making sure he's nowhere nearby. We do get the pickup onto Spacey. Spacey still having Dead Hard in the back pocket. If he comes in correctly, he should be able to get, but no Ping, biting him in the ass there and just going down. I think I saw the start of a Dead Hard animation too, which is just absolutely great. When we find Cash out as well, we're going to be securing this 4K2 result on Team Reactor. Very impressive. Granted, a lot of that probably due to Addict spontaneously combusting. Very unfortunate, but if there's any man that can match a 4K2 result on the flight, it's going to be Addict. We've seen some impressive shit from Addict in the past. We've seen 4K4s, 4K5s, so 4K2, it's tight, but for Addict, it's genuinely extremely doable. Cash, 4%ing there, but that's fine. He's just going to stand under the hook and just wait for the death, as that is the rule. No, he's running around. Why is he doing that? He's just getting in the locker. You can't be doing that, mate. You got to let the trial end. Come on.
I'm not too sure what's happening here. I mean, yeah, I think he's just gone and given up there entirely. Yeah, it is going to be the 4K2 solidified. You know, with Addict in the trial, we could have definitely seen a 4K1 to even all generators popped out. Very unlikely given the circumstances, but again, you have to take into account that this is SAF. Blight is one of their most picked sets, which is, like you said, incredible. Fallen short a few times because, you know, they're still yet to get their first series win in OSL. First set win as well, to my knowledge. I do believe they're on a 0% win rate. And looking at the statistics here, it is 99-1 in favor of SAF. I mean, it's just the more dominant team in all respect because, I mean, former Gospel players minus Nu. You know, Nu went to 2 Savage, for those who don't know, and you are left with Spacey coming in, taking over, and just, yeah, it's just basically Gospel 2.0. And, you know, they've done incredible throughout this entire this entire tournament. Haven't lost a series. Have lost a set though, and funny enough, was a Blight set against Nyx, if you do remember, just a couple of weeks ago, Smog, just before they versed us. I think it was in week 3. But yeah, I don't want to put the jitters on Addict, but I mean, it's definitely doable for the survivors on Reactor, and I think that's why they would have picked this set as well. Feeling very confident in this S tier set in particular. So I mean, only time will tell as we are loading in. It is going to be the team of Duck Dewey Lynx. I didn't catch the rest of the two survivors. I don't think Prada plays Survivor for Oh wait, does he play Survivor? I can't remember now. I could just be spitballing crap, but let's just take a quick look at the roster real quick. If I just get this up, yeah, Zenel and Alpharane. I mean, they're really the main guys that you'll see on the Survivor sets. I think Prada's like their killer boy. You play everything and anything given the time of day. Give him a set and he'll get it done. Realistically, it's kind of very contrastable to someone like Boosted from Forsaken or Mo from Nameless King. Anyway, loading in the win condition is 4K 3 for our killer, 4K 2 tie condition, 4K 1 for our survivors. They just have to pop basically 4 generators, which isn't undoable, but it's going to take a lot of work still. I would imagine Addict is going to be keeping up the pressure. Now, when noticing how Addict plays for high win conditions, he is playing extremely aggressive. We've seen him just lose like 2-3 fresh hooks at the cost of making sure the gen points are ahead. And basically what I mean by that is he'll have the 4K4, slug all his freshers, and just instantly down them one after the other, constantly keeping info, not losing track of any of his survivors, and just not giving a damn in the world, because if you win on generators, what else matters? A whole lot of nothing. Regardless, we are going to be going into the match on the side of Addict. Roaming all the way down into 1, we do spot out Duck Dewey, who has been caught out here at the pallet outside of main. Now he's going to have to play the 50, does win it, gets the blind as well. No Champion of Light coming into effect. We are going to be using the window into no, it's blocked off. It is the backside window that is open, but Addict is opting not to chase that, as that could easily just spiral into a really bad thing that we just don't want happening. Now he's going to take ground here all the way over into corner 5, where there is nobody working these generators here. They are playing very stealth-like, very slow. Can't anticipate that they'll be over at 7 at this current time, and Addict seems to pick up on that. Is walking slowly over there. He's now going to use his power. Again, nobody working the gens. Ruin's still into play here over at the mid side of the map, but we've caught someone trying to really get greedy for the totem here. It's going to be Lynx who's taking chase. Now to the bottom side of the map. He's going to be using this Orman filler, but opting to greet it going into 10. No, maybe using the mid fillers here. It's going to have access to life, which is why we've taken that window vault preemptively. He's going to be making this filler pallet here, this pallet gym. Now roaming all the way down into 3, where there is this logs. Does Addict get his rushes back in time? Yes, he does. Really has to convert here, and does so nicely. No! I've jinxed it entirely, and we've evaded it on the side of Lynx. Another filler pallet outside of it. We're getting hit with the ruins. No! You know what? It's a good start for both sides. I mean, it wasn't a 2-tap. It wasn't a quick chase. You know, you can argue the fact that if it wasn't a quick chase with a win condition like this in regards to obviously how Addict is playing, it could be problems for SAF, but I think all in all, it's quite even right now.
Yeah, pretty even. We weren't really on top of the generators super early. They waited a good bit, and we've only got, I think, Jake working this generator. I don't know if there's anyone else that's on a Jenny, or if the HUD's just broken, but if that's the only gen getting done, that's not good for that. How long that burst chase took to take. We do have Ruin coming to a... Actually, no, Ruin's... on a Ruin's still active on one there. But we do find Nia here out in the open. We get a free little tag on her. She rotates up to go for a safe potentially. But Unhook coming in onto someone else. Curiously enough, I was going to comment about how Addict opted to go for this sort of mid-choke hook rather than the hill hook. I thought the hill hook would be much better, but what the hell do I know? We're going to be committing to a chase with the Lynx, but we've got the 15 seconds of BT. She's going to be able to rotate with the blood all the way over to main, but with the blood rush, we should be able to catch up. No worries, and that should be game for Lynx there, getting a really nice shoot up onto Lynx there. That's express hook, straight to death hook, which is great for Addict. Dragging him down, going to be putting him probably on the hill hook again this time, as this is the most convenient hook. And after that, we see a reset coming on to Nia there, so that I don't think there was a med kit, so I'm pretty sure this is just the only gen that's getting done, is just Jake's gen. So Reactor really slow on the gen prog, and I think they're about to find out that Addict's going to really make it play. But actually, no, I'm incorrect. That mid gen also has a really good bit of progress. It's just a bit of a HUD bug, so we actually do have 2 high prog gens. One's popping in the background there. We're just dropping the chase on the Nia to rotate back and let Ruin do its thing on this generator. We know Ruin's in a really bad spot. We catch our med kit player here, who is our Deli, working nearby for the save, and it is our Ace Visconti. He's going to be able to get a stun there on the pallet. Fantastic stun, going to be able to knock the blight out of power, but immediately our targets are already back. Getting a cheeky M1 there, Ruin popping in the background as we commit to the chase after Rain if we're able to, but no, we're just going for a pop Ruin onto this generator. Actually, really nice timing for that Ruin to pop. No one's been able to make some distance and go for the save here, but no, we do find Nia getting a tag onto her. We've caught out 2 people lurking for the save last minute, and now Jake on top of the hook, the 3rd man for the job. Everyone's injured. We see Lynx rotating down to the bottom side of the map, but with the cheeky body block, we're just trying to force her away from any good resources to get alive. But if we vault this, we're just going to get a grab, so I don't know what we're doing. So that's going to be a death at the Lynx, very fast, death at 4, exactly what you need if you're going to be playing around this fairly difficult win con. We see some resets happening on the board with inner strength there on Nia, but we're going to be taking a chase onto her. She is also our DS dead hard bounce player, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bounce landing off of the basement stairs to try and rotate away after we drop the Shankar, but no dice yet. We try and go for a bit of a Pokemon catch, and quite work out. We successfully baited Addict on the correct side of the shack to force him away for an unfortunate break. Doesn't zone us to the back of the edge map, but we're going to be dropping the Nia and just going on someone else. We're really focusing onto our gen pressure here, keeping the map pressure up. But we have a very nice flick there from Addict onto the ace. It's going to get him a tag and rotate away. This is our Deli player, but prioritizing the gen pressure. I don't know if he's going to commit to this, or if he's going to rotate towards the top side of the map to see if he can find Jake, who is working on another gen. We find Ace's blood on the floor here over by our jungle gym, but I don't know if we're going to commit. We're going to just, I think, abandon him and rotate towards our generators. We find Nia here. Unfortunate bump there from Addict, going to be knocking them to fatigue, and it could honestly go either way at this point, Hunter.
It's a result of quick pulling, just some subpar chase mechanics as well from the side of the survivors. Unfortunately, you did see just our Ada player get grabbed off the pallet there. Should have just opted for the window, even though we were trying to get life off. Maybe we didn't have enough time for the endurance status effect. Who knows? I mean, now Addict is going to be roaming all the way down to the top side of the map, whereas this generator about 50% progressed. So, you know, they definitely can still pull it back to at least the tie condition. I'll be very surprised if they meet the win condition, considering we have a tunnel out at 4 generators remaining. We're really trying to sniff whoever's stealthing around here out, and whoever is playing around this top side of the map is doing an amazing job. Yeah, they've just gone all the way down into like 11-10 side. This is now just kind of crouching over at the main building there, trying to catch out whoever's working this mid generator. It was near before, and is it near now? I dare say it's going to be Duck Dewey taking chase all the way around. The logs, if we don't mind, is going to be now making the 2 tile here. I don't know what kind of RNG he has. Does definitely still have this drop Phillip out here outside of main. Some nice flicking mechanics on the side of Addict is going to spell a tag, and now we're going to be following up all the way down into the 10 side of the map. We have to be careful not to get too tapped. If we get too tapped, there's trouble. No! And just before the pallet too, the eruption proc, we've got eyes on 12. Eyes on mid. We're going to be going all the way down into 12 here. The survivor who was working the generator in the background after rain wasn't working the mid generator. I do say he's working the bottom generator, but we are taking chase all the way down into 12. After rain is kind of forced to commit this generator over at the bottom side. Now you really have to last here if you're on the side as a now. He's going to be vaulting the pallet once, not vaulting in back into the killer. Very fortunate stuff for our survivors. He's going to be getting tagged though. Now we're going to have to be making immense distance all the way down to the middle side of the map, and we have to be extra careful. We've only used 2 rushes on the side of Addict. We are going to be bumping once into the wall, going and getting a little bit flicky with it. We're going to be dodging, crouching, not going to be enough. After rain, what are you doing in this point in time? He's got the generator done. He does get the pickup in time and is rotated around just in time. Very nicely done from the side of our survivors. Now, we have 2 injured in the trial. We have Duck Dewey at the backside of main. We do have Arthurain playing aggressive for this pool, just kind of sitting around that corner 10 at the moment. So, you know, if anybody gets found in an instance like this in the next 10, 15 seconds, it's going to be problems team. We are trying to get that inner healing value out here. So, you know, Addict at his win condition at the moment, can't afford to give another generator up. What is his gens looking like? They're not really that holdable, to be honest, if we can recover from our survivors. We've got someone out here! It's gonna be a player on the floor! After raid, once again, it's left all in his hands. Is he going for the pull? He needs to, and he does. And again, he's recollected the game, the MVP himself. Addict back on the tail of the unhooked survivor. It's gonna be now trying to make to the middle of the map here. We are trying to bait out whatever he has on the side of Addict. And now we've actually made all the way down to the bottom side here. Going to be greeting the Ormond filler entirely and going all the way down into corner 7, where the generators have been procced. And now Duck Dewey still sitting on the floor here after rain, still in the trial, trying to get everybody recollected up and off the floor. If we can down after rain here and they get the quick down onto Zanau, maybe we just cut them off. Wait, we're going for the pickup here. Okay, wait, sorry? Oh,
Potential
unbreakable.
unbreak, yeah.
Yeah, potential unbreakable. Okay. So we know, yeah, obviously we know that our slug survivor, Duck Dewey, is not unbreakable as it would have been used a little bit earlier on. We are really trying to cut off Zanao if we can sniff him out here. He is just working a gent. Is he working a gent in the background, just slamming out four, playing with high condition? Wait a second, this is bad because as soon as we get this hook here, Addict just knows to roam all the way down to the bottom side. Where else could Zanao went? I mean, as soon as he hears the prog on that gent, he just finds him and he's just tapped on the floor, and it's just the win for SAF.
Yeah, it's looking. Oh, he's locked eyes with them too. This is a big W for SAF. Any man can do it. It is Addict. Bit ambitious on the swing there, but we forgot about Deliverance. After Rain ripping himself on hook, we're back in the game. He's gonna go for the iron hook onto Duck Dewey, and it's back to things for Reactor. No 4K3 on the board. We forgot about the perks. So did I, to be honest. And we're going to be trying to take force chase onto the immediately going for After Rain. Fantastic mechanics there from Addict, resulting in a down. I am curious to see if he goes for it. He does go for the ball. He wants his pop, and he wants to select this bloke back on a hook. But now we have DS Dead Hard on Duck Dewey. He's going to be a massive chase extender. We don't know who has Reactor. We don't know who has Unbreakable on the side of Reactor. We know that Duck Dewey probably doesn't have it, and we know that After Rain might have it, but no, we don't. We barely get that dash onto Xenal. Xenal trying to play around the shack to the best visibility. He still has shack powder, but no, he doesn't. I'm lying. No shack powder available to him. He's trying to play around with just this cheeky little filler rock, but he's also on terrible ping, so a very ambitious swing from Addict could result in death, but he's lost to 50-50. He's going to get a grab. Nice grab from Addict, throwing him immediately on a hook, then rushing back to the top side of the map. We see a reset from After Rain coming through onto Duck Dewey there, so he's going to be nice and healthy, which is great to see on the side of Reactor, but we got no gen progress. Addict has done a fantastic job of keeping the pressure on them. They know that they can't just afford to run around and, you know, just play injured because they can't get two-tapped. They can't just die in the first 10 seconds of every chase because they're injured. We see some blood here as well, so we found After Rain, who is death on hook. This was a fantastic find from Addict, but no, cheeky little swing through that power, not paying off at all as he tries to play around the main body, but he doesn't have anything here. He's trying to go for the spiller and greed for it, but Addict, one step ahead of him, is going to be rotating down to see if he can find Duck Dewey going for the save, but no save coming through. Is he nearby for a potential power save? No dice at all. I do wonder what this man is doing. He's probably just sitting on a generator somewhere, maybe next to the hook at 4. I don't know, truly, to be honest, but no, he's just stealthing around main. I don't know what the plan is from here. I think we're just going to have to accept the fact that this is a 4K3, and SAF have brought it back with an impossible win con in the bag, Hunter.
We have to find Duck Dewey first, and we've roamed all the way down to the 12 side here, really trying to sniff him out, and that will be, yeah, obviously one of our survivors all gone from the trials and now still in the game. As we do get the pull on the side of Duck Dewey, it is going to be happening on the bottom side of the map. Chase is going to be going two ways, one way there, but I mean, we're opting not to chase the unhooked survivor. We're going for the fresh one here who hasn't been injured. Well, not fresh hook, sorry, but he's on a full healthy state, and we are going to be taking Chase all the way down into the 10 side of the map here. Duck Dewey is really trying to make distance and unfortunately getting mind gamed there as we have relinquished pallet possession. Mighty unfortunate stuff. Now, going to be rushing here on back to the bottom generator on the side of Addict. We're really playing it safe. Don't want our friends are now popping the generator in our face. We're going to be slamming the pallet in his face, though, and playing the check spot on the outside. I think you just get zoned here, big old man. But opting not to break it on the side of Addict is going to just kind of walk him down, play the mind game, does win 150 and wins the second too. So that's now back on the floor. As we do take the slug here, we're going all the way back down to the top side of the map where we had left Chase onto Duck Dewey. Now, what is he doing? He is working the top mid, or it was just that top mid. In all honesty, I don't think he was working a generator. Might have been, I don't know, but is going to be dodging the M2 there from Addict, and Addict just powering down that swing, and he's going to solidify that 4K3 that we were looking for, that win condition. And we said, if there's anybody to do the job, it's Addict.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that. A fantastic 4K3 result, bringing it back from the brink, making up for his dog shit internet DC there, causing an unfortunate win con on the side of SAF from their survivor lineup, but he's brought it back and he's shown why he's considered one of the best flights in OCD. His mechanics are great, his macro is great, he knows how to put on the pressure, but don't discount Reactor here because their Blight player did fantastic. He had a really good setup, he played around his what the map gave. Watch Reactor's pick of the Blight, where SAF were able to take home the win with a very grueling high 4K result there from Addict with a 4K3 playing around his win con or 4K3, as we saw Reactor's killer achieve a 4K2 versus survivors due to a DC mid-game from Addict. due to poor internet, which is a shame. But he was able to redeem himself there with a comeback 4K3 in the following match where he did play killer. Now we're moving into SAS pick of the artist, where I was expecting Andrew Loops to be playing, but he's not here. Unless he's not even on SAF. I'm pretty sure he's on SAF. But yeah, we don't see him here on the artist. Instead, we have Captain Spacey on the artist. So I'm curious to see how he does. Now, artist is a lower tier killer. I believe she's tier 3 if my memory serves me correct. Header balancing, by the way. But looking at the build here, we do have something very interesting, which is Rapid Brutality. I am unsure as to why we're running Rapid on the artist. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle for me, to be honest. I don't know if we're just playing a pub or what. But, Hunter, thoughts on the set?
I mean, we had a few artist sets, both personally scrimming and obviously last night where you'd seen Chinese Dragons versus Forsaken, and yeah, just Chinese Dragons put on an absolute dominant performance. Already off to a very good start on the side of Captain Spacey here, so I'd like to point out that, yeah, Andrew is on SAF, so quite odd that he's not there present today. I think he might be at work or something. But, I mean, Captain Spacey, the next man for the job, seems to be doing just fine right now with this hook over in mid. As we do take ground all the way over into corner 7, we do see After Rain stealthing for that ball. He does seem to be the survivor that kind of turns tides, you know, make sure that he knows when, he does know when to get the pull, he knows when not to get the pull. He knows good stealthing too, because we're really trying to sniff him out on the side of Spacey all the way into corner 7. He's going to use this heal to his advantage, and now with that quick pull happening there, we're going to have to make sure that this chase lasts, because we haven't let him just kind of hang for a little bit, as he would have liked and gone for a little bit of a 2-split, 3-split kind of scenario happening. We get another snipe there. Wait, Space is on point as we do take chase around the main building. The scratch marks lead all the way back into the mid side here. Are going to be greeting this pallet on the outside of main, getting hit with the birds. Coming in is going to be that hot shot. Wait, what the hell's happening here? We've dropped the pallet on the wrong side. We're gone for the life proc. Okay, I thought that was a misplay, but honestly, maybe I just misplayed myself in my own brain. And we are going to be pegging birds, trying to really down Biru as fast as possible, but he's going to be evading everything and, you know, making a nice death location here all the way over at corner 11 is going to be going down ultimately. This is another hook onto him all the way over at that 12 side, as we do see the first generator in the background proc. So Survivor's got some gen pressure on the board. It's not horrible, but in all honesty, it's probably subpar considering that you have Biru already ready for Death Hook. You do have Zanao back on that generator over at 2 here. And, you know, you do have the progression just like about 85%, but we're not going to be able to progress it any further considering we can now hold the generator and the hook in this position. And if you look carefully, we've only just started another generator from Reactor. You know, After Rain is just on probably what seems to be corner 7 there. And we know as we've hit him with the birds, going for that snipe there too, missing it entirely. We cleansed our birds, I think, via a locker there. Again, Spacey really trying to make this generator here over at 2 regress. I'd really like to know how the survivors are going to get out of this, because at the moment it's looking pretty grim considering we're going for a reset happening all the way. What we anticipate is 3, and then we are still trying to put pressure with the birds all the way over at 7. So After Rain constantly having to hop off that generator, hop back on it, is going to buy us some time on our killer side as we do peg birds all the way over there again. We are going to be infected on the side of After Rain once again in that locker, out of the locker, and we do get the pull as well. Now Biru is going to have to take chase around the main building here. Does have access to about 10 seconds left of endurance status effect. We are placing the birds and lining them up preemptively. We are going to be taking that tag and now slapping the pallet in Spacey's face. Coming in for the protection hit is After Rain, popping off that generator over at 7 now with his buddy Biru to make sure that he lasts just a little bit longer in this chase. He's going to try and greet the main building here. Does have access to the window. Greets that too, I do believe. We haven't been hit with the birds. We are going to be making all the way down into this mid 2 side of the map where we've greeted the pallet here again as well. Getting tagged with the birds there. Maybe placing it here on the side of Spacey. We again slapped in the face with a pallet from somebody who wasn't even in chaser at the beginning of it all. That's going to allow us to cleanse the birds. Back on, back with the birds is Duck Dewey and Zanao. Biru still continuing on his chase, having a crazy chase all the way over at the shack building here. Tagged with the birds again, really struggling to get this down on the side of Spacey as we do see 7 pop in the background. Nice snipe onto Biru. That's going to be a death at 4K2 right now, or 2 generators remaining if we do manage to get this gen done from Zanao.
Yeah, very well played from both Reactor and Spacey there. That's the type of last life chase you need on the side of Reactor. Get yourself back in the game. This is looking a bit grim early on there with how quick those tunnel outs were happening onto our Steve player here. Bit of light work, no reaction from Spacey with some really good snipes throughout this game and just solid use of the artist's power. But that being said, we have a really good cluster of gens that we can defend here. We have a power we can try and play around, but Mr. After Rain is indeed still infected with his bird, so he's going to get an M1 there. Rapid Brutality coming in clutch, I guess. I don't really know what the purpose of this perk is on this character, but what do I know? Going to be rotating away. We do have a power still here. We go for the Vault. Unfortunately, not working out. Don't get that M1 over the power, thankfully for Reactor, but we're going to be putting a bird on it just to try and zone After Rain away a little bit. With some smart pathing, we should be able to zone our ace here to the back corner, and we successfully get that down. And we're going to be able to drag it to our active generator. It's just a fantastic hook to be taking if you're Spacey here, because you get your pain res ideally, but one gen getting popped in the background. So down to one gen left. We're greening for a pain res towards the back of main here, but looking around, it's right in the dead center of our 3-gen, which is great. Great news for Spacey, but looking at the HUD knowns on a generator, I don't know if they were doubling it. The pain res did hit that gen, so we know that the gen by the hill is not getting worked on. There's no danger there, and Spacey doesn't need to leave anymore. He's got a hook in his 3-gen. He can patrol them. He doesn't need to worry about a goddamn thing. We're going to be seeing our near play here, Doc Dewey, trying to play aggressively for the generator, but with the locker so close to the gen, we can easily dispel the crows here very easily. We don't need to worry about having to do the whole hold M1 to cleanse and don't get sniped thing. You just immediately jump in the locker, especially because we're head on, so we can just jump in and out with quick and quiet, and it's happy days. And we're just going to be doing that constantly, I think, just trying to get as much progress on that gen as humanly possible, as we do see Zunnel as well lurking by the tires, trying to find an opening to get into for a save, and little the space he's basically just staring at Jake behind those tires, but we are just going to be harassing this generator that Nia's doing, and yeah, just letting After Rain cook for as long as humanly possible so we don't give Spacey any reason to sort of go in. We're just going to be taking the tag onto Zunnel now as he goes to the pole. This will be a trade, which is great for Spacey, but I dare say he's going to be going for the hook here. Rapid Brutality, allowing us to keep up with the 15-second BT if we do so desire, but a good sidestep there from After Rain, going to result in him being able to get away from the hook here, but another painter's on the border over onto the hill gen, I dare say. Spacey going to be rotating over to this side of the map to try and catch out Duck Dewey to potentially take a chase onto him, but Duck Dewey with a fantastic pre-leave. They're heading towards the bus, but After Rain also been forced all the way over to Shack, and now we got to slow it down to a grinding hold here. Spacey's playing super territorial. Probably reset coming through onto After Rain so we can go in for the save and play aggressively on generators, but at this point, you can't go for trades anymore. You need to do a double save, and we need to get hooks away from our 3-gen if you want this match to go anywhere, Hunter.
Love this move from Spacey at the moment, just kind of protecting his hook, placing birds at the last known location of a survivor, progressing the game by the generators, so he knows nobody's really working there over at one. Did see in the background, you know, if you are paying attention to the avatars, that there was a reset as we did flick over on our spectator side. Spacey knows that it's happening, considering of obviously the images changing, but I mean, you know, that's just kind of put our survivors on the back foot here. They've had to play a lot more slow and methodical due to that fact. And now we are reaching the second stage on the side of Zanel, just sitting on that hook. He's just out of the game. All he can do is really con where the killer's going and what he's currently doing. And you know, Spacey really taking control of the main builder here. We're not going to be getting the full before second, and we're eating a tag, and all of a sudden the reset was all for nothing, and we can commit to this on the side of Spacey, but we choose not to, as you know, that could easily just that could easily just go into the survivor's favor if you spend too long chasing After Rain on the bottom side of the map when you have a hook in a generator just being worked here over at the top side. And now, you know, Duck Dewey just going to be eating this tag. He's going to rotate all the way down into 3. Now, After Rain does snipe that pull, so they are out of the middle of that 3-gen. That is mighty fortunate stuff for us survivors. We are going to be really trying to get this snipe onto our survivor just off the hook, and we do get it. But unfortunately, with that extra 15 seconds off the hook, we are able to make the bottom side regardless if we get tagged or not, and then speed boost just as good as an exhaustion. Some would say a pocket sprint burst at that point, but you know, Spacey now back on the back foot, going all the way down to the top side of the map. Sorry, our survivors at the bottom side really trying to get that reset in the background, and we have found our fresh hook Duck Dewey here. So at the very least, more stages given to Spacey in this regard. We are opting to die all the way into corner 2 here. Now the survivors are currently resetting all the way at corner 7 here. Haven't opted to go for the gen push or play aggressive on the generators. I mean, why would you? It's kind of a death sentence, but I mean, you know, reset, back in the game, both on a full health state. One death hook and one still got one stage to spare. Duck Dewey starting at a fresh hook on this hook over at 2. I mean, we're in for still quite a long game, especially if we can get this pull here and keep the gen pressure up in the background. Now with both survivors back in the trial, all healthy, they are going to be probably going for a 1-1 split. One to the unhook, one to the generators, all the way over at the right side of the map. So over at 10. Well, right, it's the sorry, it's the left side of the map. Sorry, what were you going to say, Small?
I was going to say, I would like to see Spacey attempt a slingshot on one of the gens. If they start working a gen that's far enough away, but while he's gutting the hook, he could potentially set up a slingshot on Artist, which is where you stagger the crows in a straight line. So that way the first crow goes, infects the survivor. We see a unhook happening in the background there, right under his nose, and then you set the second crow farther enough back to where when the first crow does the infect, the second one comes in and gets a tag. I feel like he maybe could have tried to do that while he was sort of camping the hooks to try and get some injuries from afar. I think that would have been worth it trying at the very minimum. It gets him off the gen. But he's going to be committing to a tunnel onto Duck Dewey here, but Duck Dewey playing very safe, walking quiet, nearly working in his favor, but losing the 50-50 there as I dare say Zenel back on those generators in the background there. I'm so sorry if you can hear a ruckus in the background. My dog's destroying things. She's not very happy with me. As we just send our crows over to the generators, trying to find out which gen they're working on. But Zenel doing a really good job of pre-leaving these generators and not getting infected as to not feed Spacey any information. But this is exactly where we want to die if we're dying in this 3v1 with one gen remaining. Super far away from our 3 gens, so that way Spacey can't camp the hooks. I guess technically he can just keep sending birds, but like he still has Eruption, which he hasn't really used all game. He can kick these gens, get his Eruption applied, and just start getting some Eruption procs on all the generators. This gen's like over 50% now, so he have to commit to this. He can't just sit here for no reason. We see the pull in the background coming through onto Duck Dewey. Zenel, being our only healthy survivor, is going to be the best person to go for a stealth. He's also a sprint best player, so if he does get caught out, he should be able to make it away, but Spacey fully aware that he might be near the edge map, but not quite finding him. The crows finding no purchase on our stealthy survivor there as Spacey just floats around a little bit. I think he did apply the eruption to the generator, which was great to see. He's going back though because I think he has a feeling deep within his balls that Zenel is near this edge map, and little does he know he's just on the other side of this Z-wall. But he finds him. Sprint best getting Zenel right out of dodge, but he's got to start cleansing those crows. Ross is going to find himself in 2-tap city. But no pallet here. No, the pallet is still up. That's going to be an M1. Rapid Brutality Rapid Brutality proc. It's hard to say, but unfortunately, no bird follow-up. We're just going to be getting an M1, and now we're in a 2v1 with Zenel being dead on hook. This is really bad for Reactor, and this is looking more and more like a 4K1 for Captain Spacey here, which is a fantastic result for the Artist Hunter.
Yeah, definitely catastrophic even. We've managed to go for a reset, and oh, actually no, sorry, that was clean break rather. My bad. I did see it when they were resetting off the hook, and we did take chase on this now. But yeah, only 2 survivors remaining in the trial. Extremely tight 3-gen 4 Wretched Shop as well. I mean, I don't see a world where this isn't 4K1 Smonk. And as we take Chase here over towards the 11, or take ground rather, we haven't really found Chase here. We are going to be getting that other Eruption proc, or another Eruption proc onto 11. And, you know, doing our rounds check all the way over at the generators. We have no real reason to really leave these generators at all. We really just need to find somebody that we can commit chase to. Maybe even just play a tag and go back to the generators, which is probably more of a safe play, something that you would see more so. We are going to be kicking the generator here over at corner 11, spacing now, prepping those birds up, ready to get a quick snipe onto after end. There's one, but I don't think we get the birds in time. I think we're just going to play the locker over at 7. You know, that locker's caused Spacey some grief earlier on in the match, and is doing it again once more in the later stages of the match. So Again, just kind of sitting here at 11, knows one's at 1, knows one's at 7. Person at 7 can't really do much. Duck Dewey does have access to that locker all the way over at 1 that you saw him using as well, like before when he was working this generator over at corner 1. So, I mean, no ruin in play as well is going to not really do much, considering that, yeah, we're pressing the survivor off and on the gen, off and on the gen, off and on the gen, but we're not losing any regression because of it, unless we screw up a skill check. But regardless, After Rain still just kind of caught here over at 7, and Spacey, yeah, he's just not budging. You know, he's just like this big boulder just sitting in the middle of it all, and he is really trying to get that snipe onto Duck Dewey there. Maybe should go for what you'd said earlier, Smonk. You know, that slingshot. That's the one, not shotgun. Yeah, shotgun's the one where you place 4 birds in a line. Wait, hang on a second. Wait, yeah, no, he's caught on. He's listened to us in the background. There it comes.
Not quite, no.
Oh, it should have been tried a little bit earlier. I feel like he would have done it a little bit earlier. But regardless, he's going to literally commit all the way over at 1, as, you know, that generator all the way at 11 has regressed so much. But, I mean, Duck Dewey mind gaming the mind game, just stealthing over at 11 as to oppose of 2 or 3, has really caught Spacey off guard. Now is able to work 1 for free. After Rain really trying to hop that ass back on 11, is going to be getting hit with the birds. Could be potentially getting sniped here, but we managed to get rid of them entirely. We are going to be taking chase here over at 7. Now, this is going to be a tag onto After Rain, and I think the comm here is just to commit the chases. You know, we'll be just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You eventually have to commit to something. We are going to be going down on the side of After Rain. Do we choose to slug this on the side of Captain Spacey? And yes, we do, as we go for maybe a little bit of a slingshot here. That's 1 bird. That's 2 bird. He knows he has to get it. 3, 2, 1. Slingshot not going to quite come in. But do we manage to get the generator in the background done on the side of Duck Dewey? I don't think we do, and we've ran all the way down into 11 here, and yeah, that will just be the 4K1 solidified as we do take the tag onto Duck Dewey. We are going to be vaulting into main here with the door broken, so there's not much for us to go on. There wasn't much for us to go on at all in that regard, but we are going to be vaulting back into the loving embrace of Captain Spacey. That will be the 4K1. Look, it's a story of a prodigy, realistically. When you look at it this way, you have the whole of gospel coaching this guy. You know, I remember back in the day when he first came into OSL, and they told, you know, he was, yeah, I think they were futures at the time, and then they said, you know, Spacey will work him up. He's, you know, you're going to see him in the future, and we're seeing him in the future, Smonk. He's pulling results left, right, and center. I don't think he's actually been outed, has he? I mean, even in his Westgate game, did he not 4K that as well?
I think so. He's like continuously just shown that he's a very competent player, both on the survivor and the killer end. Ace trying to beg for mercy, but no mercy found from Captain Spacey as he does. It's a great 4K1 on the artist, which is a very incredible result. Like, usually this killer, you're looking at